All right, everyone. There is a link in the description, archived, of course. China is weaker than you think. This article surmises that basically in the same fashion that I did about 10 years ago. I've been making videos on the subject for some time, and what I pointed out is that China effectively is a paper dragon. Their economy is exceptionally reliant upon the US. It is exceptionally reliant upon Europe. They don't have the same reliances on the Chinese economy. Ultimately, let's say that we bring back US manufacturing, for example. We will pay marginally more for US sourced goods. Oh, how terrible a thing. Oh, wages rose though, so it makes absolutely no difference. That's the whole fucking point. The tariffing system that Trump is trying to impose and the America First policy will ultimately economically work unless something else happens. Here's a little pro tip. Did I not predict that after Brexit, the British government and all of the empowered elites there would try to bring the economy to its knees? Well, they did try now. It actually came true. It went into a semi-recession actually for a while. It was entirely predictable. The same will happen in the United States. What you do is you try to inflict pain on other people in order to prevent them from doing something. So if the United States goes with an AF style policy, an America First policy, what the elites will do, other than Musk and a few others, I suppose, they will attempt to destroy the economy as much as they can and it'll be painful for a while because they'll be at least partially successful. In the long term, though, it's China that suffers. China is almost entirely reliant on Western investment. If those investments are removed, that is, if the US government incentivizes them to move to India or Thailand or something like that, or disincentivizes simply being in China with tariffs and things like that, China will collapse. There are hundreds of millions of middle classes in China. They are part of a consumer culture. It's a population about as large as the United States. These consumers want their shit. They don't want Chinese crap. They want to import from the first world. They want Chevrolet and Ford and things like that. They want iPhones. If they are unable to attain them, or unable to attain them at a price that they can reasonably afford, they're going to start getting real bitchy now, aren't they? And so the Chinese government will end up collapsing. And they know this. The Xi Jinping is acutely aware of this. He's not a moron. He may be wrong on ideological things. He may be an authoritarian, but that doesn't make him stupid. He's well aware of the fact that his population is a little bit more jittery than China generally lets on to the outside world. I would know. I've spoken with people in China. I have a bead on the situation. And right now, the sense is fuck the Chinese government effectively. But I'm not going to name my sources because then they'd get gulagged. The fact is that China is a lot weaker than people generally think. A lot of people, especially people, yeah, here's the problem. People think, well, the US government is bad. And I agree with you, by the way, when you say that. The US government, generally speaking, is bad. It is authoritarian. It is doing the wrong thing. It is fucking up the Constitution. Even under Donald Trump, this is happening. And he's doing a lot better than the last dude that was there. But they think if US bad, China good, or Russia good, or something like that. Ukraine bad, therefore Russia good, and vice versa. This is not the case. This is not how things work. It is a very football game mentality that many people engage in. And so they're incapable of extracting themselves from that dichotomy. And so they think basically it's team A versus team B. Well, I mean, why can't you just not join either team? Just fuck them both. There are going to be virtues and vile things done by both teams. This team scored a goal. Great. then it had a penalty. Oh, well, that sucks. Then the other team did the same thing. That's the way that it works within politics, within sociopolitics more broadly. So when I look at China, I say, you're being wrong. The economic structure that you've created is unstable. It's completely reliant upon really Western investment more than anything else. And people don't believe me when I tell them that, but I've been telling them that for a number of years. And by the way, this is roughly around the time I expected China to experience this kind of economic shock. It's basically going to be shock therapy. In the end, China will prevail. It will still be there. It will still be a nation, and its people will still be prosperous. But it will not have the same economic system. It will have hopefully reformed in the diplomatic sense. That would be very, very helpful. Might even leave BRICS. They might abandon the Eastern Bloc altogether. We're not entirely sure. But it is a very, very long-term strategy that was employed. It was entirely predictable. And my hope for the Chinese people, of course, is that they do have a prosperous nation. I don't want anyone to suffer. That's not really something that I'm interested in. Governments want you to suffer, whether it's the Chinese government or the US government, by the way. I want people to be happy. My hope is that you make some delicious food because, yeah, Chinese cuisine is pretty good. And I don't want the Americanized version. I'm not interested in that bullshit. I want the real shit. That's about all. Peace out.